Very good evening. Thanks for clicking on to the Monday edition of Logan's European Outlook. Very busy day today. I had started off at 1 a.m. for a load from DFDS and Larcole up to the yard at Everton. If folk don't know where Everton is, it's actually about 24 miles to the north of Inverness on the shores of Cromarty Firth. So brought the load of fish up there today, dropped the trailer, picked a load of tatties up, and I've delivered to Glenfarg, and two drops in and around Forfar, reloaded tatties out of a farm which I'm currently on. Automatic lights. So I'm currently on a farm, reloaded tatties, and I'm going down to Sleaford, which I believe is in Nottinghamshire. I get mixed up between whether that's in Nottinghamshire or indeed Lincolnshire, but I think it might be Nottinghamshire. I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, so drive straight down, breaking down to Sleaford tomorrow, and then parking up at the Pallet Force in Burton-on-Trent. Early hours of the morning on Wednesday, reload and straight up to Inverness. And hopefully I shall be home before tea time on Wednesday. So that is the plan anyway. But very quick video today. Feeling quite tired, just eaten. Need to get the head down because I'm starting once again at 1 tomorrow morning, or probably 2 o'clock actually. So I'm going to make this pretty quick. Easter, the run up to Easter really is going to be quite a mild one, and rather showery as well. We could actually get some April showers into the weather pattern, with low pressure always close by. Very strong angled sun now at this time of the year, of course, doesn't take an awful lot, with sunshine and relatively milder in the low to mid levels of the atmosphere. We've got, of course, generally 16, 17 degrees quite widely, locally 20, possibly 21. Any day this week really could even scrape a 22 for the first time this year towards Easter weekend coming up. But with, of course, low pressure, you tend to have a slightly cooler upper levels of the atmosphere, and that acts like a kind of pressure pot, so to speak. Incoming solar radiation, of course, kind of bubbles up the atmosphere, forces the air to rise, and when you've got cooler air aloft, that kind of triggers some quite beefy showers at this time of the year. So we're going to see plenty of shower activity as well. Area of low pressure during the course of tomorrow, running north. We could actually see some fairly heavy and persistent rain, thunderstorms accompanying that as well. That system then kind of lingers over the north of Scotland during the latter half of tomorrow. So underneath sunshine across much of England and Wales, we're going to see temperatures rising into the high teens, locally 20 degrees. That system clears off up into Scandinavia, and we've largely got a high pressure dominated pattern. But what we are going to see is, with that high pressure, with that sunshine, we're going to see those showers bubble up during the course of the day, and pretty much anywhere really could see those showers as we go forward here. Glance and blow from a frontal system late on in the week. This is Good Friday, but you can see largely high and dry across the British Isles. And of course, we're going to see the temperatures rising quite sharply. Relatively mild by night time. I don't think we're going to see anything particularly cold really as we go through the Easter weekend here, and then we'll keep our eyes on that area of low pressure as it moves towards the northwest. I think we're going to get glancing blows from low pressure, especially towards the northwest of the UK as we push towards the early part of next week here. But you can see here, area of low pressure over Biscay here, triggering some showers and thunderstorms down here. An increased wind as well. Actually, that system, according to the GFS, becomes quite a significant feature as we push towards the latter half of next week. But this is a way out here. This is a way out in the fantasy land. But it looks as if it's going to be a fairly prolonged spell of mild conditions here. If we look at the ECMWF, it actually better depicts the kind of bubble up of the atmosphere during the course of the day. We see the showers developing here with the daytime heating. See if we can kind of skip back and see that the modelling indicating that kind of convective nature of showers blowing up during the course of the day with slightly lower pressure aloft. But you notice here, according to the ECMWF, we'll have more influence of systems towards the northwest. So over Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland, looks as if we're going to get the weather running over this region. Always a lot drier, brighter, and sunnier across more southern portions of the British Isles with higher pressure in control here. So it looks as if we're going to see that kind of sunshine and shower regime, very typical of the time of year, of course, across much of the British Isles as we go forward. And then we've got an area of high pressure centered over Denmark. That looks as if it's going to maintain this fairly dry, fairly mild, and fairly settled regime as we go forward here. There's really no point in looking much beyond that because you're just in the fantasy land. Interesting actually off the ECM, not the ECMWF, the CFSv2, and this is the month of May here. Now, what is interesting is it shows predominantly high pressure, but notice here that we've got a kind of area of white representing neutral heights at 500 millibars. That to me, folks, would almost allude to the fact that the model is trying to sniff out some sort of a low over this region of Europe as we go through the month of May with higher pressure further north. What would that indicate? It could indicate that we have some fairly disturbed, fairly unsettled, possibly cool weather over Iberia and into France, possibly into the southern portion of the British Isles and Ireland during the month of May. But you take this, of course, with a pinch of salt, because by the time we get into the month of June, high pressure almost largely dominating the pattern. This is July, and again, even if you look at July, that's quite interesting. That to me is indicating, like I say, slightly reduced heights over this part of the world, and that would indicate to me more in the way of shower activity, possible thunderstorms, possible cooler temperatures as a response to that as well. If you look at the 2 meter temperature anomalies, it indicates, this is by the way for August, so it looks to me as if the CFSv2 is certainly hinting at some sort of low pressure kind of hanging around close by to the British Isles during the course of the summer months here. Looking at the May temperature anomalies here, warmer than normal. This is where I think it gets a wee bit unrealistic, because even in a warmer world, warmer summers, warmer winters, blah blah blah, you're not going to get completely everywhere warmer than normal, and that's certainly what the model is indicating here. This is May, this is June, this is July, this is August. So basically it's just a blowtorch across the board, which of course is pretty much unrealistic. I think you don't have to be a meteorologist to work out that just doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me if you ask me. But we'll wait and see what happens anyway. I'm going to have more thought put into the long range stuff, and we are going to discuss that right here on the channel as we go through the upcoming weeks and the next month or so. And of course by the end of May I do intend to release a summer forecast, whatever that may be. We'll wait and see. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Please like, share and subscribe to the video. Do drop a comment, and I'll be back again hopefully tomorrow with more. Bye for now.